Why are there not more people talking about the LGBTQ plus pioneers in Hollywood? Let's shine a spotlight on these trailblazers. From the silent film era to today's blockbusters, LGBTQ plus individuals have always been a vital part of Hollywood. The golden age of Hollywood gave us many of the biggest icons of the 20th century. But did you know the film industry's queer culture existed even before that famous Hollywood land sign went up in 1923? And half of Tinseltown kept their identities a secret to safeguard their careers? So, here are some old Hollywood stars you probably didn't know were LGBTQ. You might know some, but we guarantee some intriguing surprises. James Dean was a Hollywood giant who forever changed pop culture as the first true rebel without a cause. Jimmy only made 3 films before tragically losing his life in his Porsche Spyder in 1955. He was 24. While Dean dated women, including Natalie Wood, rumors he was gay circulated in his heyday and persist today. Several authors claim James Dean was involved with Rogers Brackett, the advertising executive. More shockingly, Jimmy's friend Stanley Taggart insisted the star had an affair with fellow rebel Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando married 4 women, and some claim he fathered 17 children. However, in addition to his alleged affair with James Dean, the Hollywood heavyweight reportedly had encounters with Carrie Grant, Montgomery Clift, Sir John Gielgud, and even Bob Dylan. In 1976, Brando told a French journalist that he had been with men but stated, "I am not ashamed." In a later Vulture interview, composer Quincy Jones said Brando also slept with James Baldwin, Marvin Gaye, and one very famous comedian, Wally Cox. Though Elizabeth Taylor married 8 times to 7 men, including doomed soulmate Richard Burton twice, she's alleged to have had relations with Marilyn Monroe. But that's not the reason she became a celebrated gay icon. The English actress is loved for her dedicated and passionate activism regarding the LGBTQ plus community. Liz had many close relationships with gay men, although that was probably because she'd married half the straight men on the planet. Carrie Grant was born Archibald Leach in Bristol, England, and became one of Hollywood's greatest leading men. He was a ladies' man who married 5 times and had a daughter. However, Gillian Armstrong's documentary, Women He's Undressed, reveals Carrie met Australian costume designer Ori Kelly in New York in 1925. They became lovers and lived together on and off for 9 years. Carrie Grant also lived with fellow actor Randolph Scott for 12 years in a Los Feliz mansion nicknamed Bachelor Hall. Rumors have long swirled that the pair were involved romantically. English actress Vivien Leigh famously starred in Gone with the Wind and married fellow English thespian Laurence Olivier, who treated her appallingly. According to Darwin Porter's book Damn You Scarlett O'Hara, Leigh's marriage to Olivier was a smokescreen, and the couple repeatedly cheated on each other within weeks of becoming lovers. According to the book, Leigh liked men and women and was once kicked out of an Italian hotel for bringing back street boys. Vivien had at least 3 lesbian affairs, including one with fellow British actress Isabel Jeans. Janet Gaynor is best known for her tour de force performance in F.W. Murnau's incredible 1927 film, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. She also won the first ever Best Actress Oscar for 2 other films that year, Seventh Heaven and Street Angel. Janet retired from acting in 1939, married a famous film costume designer, and had a son. In William Mann's book, Behind the Screen, How Gays and Lesbians Shaped Hollywood, 1910 to 1969, actor Bob Cummings said, Janet Gaynor's husband was Adrien, the MGM fashion designer, but her wife was Mary Martin. Adrien, that MGM fashion designer, was Adrien Adolph Greenberg. Rudolph Valentino's costume designer wife, Natasha Rambova, brought him to Hollywood in 1924, and he designed costumes for The Wizard of Oz and for stars like Joan Crawford, Greta Garbo, and Katharine Hepburn. Like Madonna and Beyoncé, he was so good he was known simply as Adrien. Diana McClellan writes in her book The Girls that Adrien and Janet's union was a lavender marriage to debunk rumors that they were both members of the LGBTQ+ community. Robert Reed. Could there be a more straight role than playing the dad in the Brady Bunch? Well, it turns out the actor who played patriarch Mike Brady, Robert Reed, was gay. He married Marilyn Rosenberger and had a daughter, but stayed in the closet to protect his career. His Brady Bunch co-star, Barry Williams, who played eldest son, Greg Brady, once said, "Robert didn't want to go there. I don't think he talked about it with anyone. I just don't think it was a discussion. Period." Sadly, Robert passed away in 1992. Paul Lynde was a character actor who played Uncle Arthur on Bewitched, and voiced the dastardly hooded claw in the Perils of Penelope Pitstop cartoons. He was famous for his distinctively camp and snarky persona, and was once described as Liberace without a piano. The 1970s LGBTQ+ community didn't like his comedy during a self-loathing era for gay culture. However, while Lind often lampooned himself, he never came out. If you wonder how, remember Liberace never officially came out of the closet either. Richard Pryor, genius stand-up comedian and actor Richard Pryor, was married 7 times to 5 different women and had 7 children with 6 different women. So you'd guess he was pretty straight. Well, guess again, because in February 2018, his widow, Jennifer Pryor, released a statement to TMZ stating her husband had conducted an intimate affair with Marlon Brando in the 1970s. In his autobiography, Pryor Convictions, Pryor talked about a short relationship with a transgender member of the LGBTQ+ community, the legendary Marlene Dietrich, who defied norms with her androgynous style, rocked the 1930s. Then, there's Rock Hudson, a heartthrob of the 1950s and 60s who bravely came out as gay while battling AIDS. Fast forward to the fabulous Ellen DeGeneres, who broke barriers in the 90s by coming out on her sitcom. And who can forget Sir Ian McKellen, whose powerful roles in X-Men and Lord of the Rings are as iconic as his activism. These stars, among many others, have not only entertained us, but also pushed for acceptance and equality. So next time you watch a classic film or a modern hit, remember the LGBTQ+ legends who paved the way. Hollywood's history wouldn't be the same without them. Stay proud, stay inspired, and keep celebrating these incredible stories. For more great stories like this, please hit like and subscribe below. Thank you for visiting the Great Who Is channel.